Hello students, today we are starting a new chapter, chemical reaction and equation. This is the first chapter of chemistry. So, what is chemical reaction? As you are knowing that in the chemical change, in the chemical change, some new substance is obtained. Some new substance is obtained. Same is the chemical reaction. In this, whenever substance A combine with substance B, it gives a new substance C. Now question arises how chemical reaction and equation are different. Chemical reaction is a description of a chemical change. It is a description of a chemical change. Like we are saying when magnesium is burnt, magnesium oxide is obtained. Magnesium oxide is obtained. Here we are describing a chemical reaction. But if this chemical reaction is written in the form of symbols and formulas, then it becomes chemical equation. Like if I am writing this statement of reaction into short form, that is magnesium, symbol of magnesium is Mg, as you all are knowing, is burnt in presence of oxygen, because the process of burning always take place in presence of air or oxygen. So I am writing the formula of oxygen, that is O2, and as the description is saying that magnesium oxide is obtained, so we are writing the formula of magnesium oxide, that is MgO. So this is chemical equation and the statement is chemical reaction. I think now it is clear to you that what is the main difference between chemical reaction and chemical equation. I am telling you one more example. Like if I am saying carbon when burnt gives carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Again, this is a statement. If we want to write short form of this statement in terms of symbols and formulas, that becomes chemical equation. Here I am writing chemical equation, that will be carbon, symbol is C. If it is burning, it is understood that in presence of oxygen. When these two will combine together, we will get carbon dioxide. The formula of carbon dioxide, as you all are knowing, CO2. So this is chemical equation and this is chemical reaction. I think it is clear to you that what is the difference between chemical reaction and chemical equation. Once again I am telling you, if a reaction is chemical, that means we are getting some new substance. If we are describing the change, then it is called chemical reaction. In terms of symbols and formulas, if we are writing, that becomes chemical equation. Now, I am telling you what are the rules of writing chemical equation. What sequence we have to follow while writing chemical equation? Rules of writing chemical equation. First of all, I am telling you that chemical equation consists of two parts. One is reactant and another is product. One is reactant and another is product. Reactant is always written on left hand side while product is written on right hand side. That's why reactants LHS, products RHS. In between reactant and product, a arrow facing towards product is used, which is indicating that when reactants react together, they form product. So this is the first rule of writing chemical equation. Secondly, reactants, if having different states meaning solid, liquid and gas, that state is also mentioned in the small bracket. If I am taking an example that carbon when burnt in presence of oxygen to give carbon dioxide, here we have to mention the physical state also. Like carbon is existing in solid, so we are using small s in small bracket. Oxygen, that you all know, always exists in gaseous form. That's why I am using small g for it. Carbon dioxide again is a gas. That's why again I am writing small g for it. So second rule is to indicate the physical state of reactants and products. I am coming to the third rule of writing chemical equation, and that is if product involves any gaseous substance, then upward arrow is used. What is the what this arrow is representing? This arrow represents evolution. Like I am coming to the same equation that carbon when reacting with oxygen to give carbon dioxide. Since carbon dioxide is in product side and in the gaseous phase, that's why we are putting upward arrow that indicates that carbon dioxide will evolve out. Gases comes up always. Next rule, if product involve any precipitation, we can write its short form, that is PPT, meaning precipitation. If product involves any precipitation, then a downward arrow is used. What is the indication of this downward arrow? It indicates that precipitation, which is having more density, settles down. I am taking one more example for it. Suppose if barium chloride, that is BaCl2, reacts with sodium sulfate, that is Na2SO4, gives BaSO4 and twice of NaCl. This BaSO4 is in precipitate form. That's why I am using a downward arrow with it. And here we will write precipitate. So, in the precipitation reaction, this reaction where we are getting precipitate, we call this reaction as precipitation reaction. Again, I am telling you students, barium chloride when reacting with sodium sulfate, we are getting precipitate of barium sulfate. A downward arrow because precipitate always settles down, and along with that we are getting NaCl. Now you can ask that why I am writing 2 NaCl here. Barium sulfate is 1 only, but NaCl is twice. Why is it so? So that I will tell you by taking fifth rule of writing chemical equation. Fifth rule. Here fifth rule is number of atoms should be equal on both the side, on both the side. We can say number of atoms should be equal in LHS and RHS. That means the reaction should be balanced. That means reaction should be balanced. I am taking one example here, students, which I have taken previously also, that magnesium when burnt in presence of oxygen giving magnesium oxide. Here you are observing that magnesium is 1, in product side also it is 1. In reactant, number of atoms of oxygen are 2, but in the product side it is 1 only. I am making it 2 by writing 2 in front of the formula. We cannot add that 2 in between the formula. We have to write that numeral in front of the formula. By writing this 2 here, magnesium is also becoming 2. So to balance that number, I am writing 2 in front of magnesium on LHS side also. Now you can observe this equation that all the number of atoms on LHS and RHS are equal. So this type of reaction is called balanced equation. So this is another rule of writing chemical equation, that it should be balanced. Next rule is we have to, in energy changes also, energy changes in the chemical equation. Energy changes in the chemical equation. What do we mean by energy changes? In some of the reactions, energy evolves out. Suppose if we are performing any reaction in a test tube, we are mixing A and B together and we observe that test tube becomes hot. Why this test tube is becoming hot? Because heat is evolving out. So this type of energy changes should be mentioned while writing chemical equation. Like you know that all combustion reactions, which are the burning processes, they all are exothermic. Whenever combustion is taking place, heat evolves out. So in that case, we have to mention that energy is evolving out. But how? Here paper is burnt. Paper meaning carbon, because paper contains carbon in it. Paper when burnt in presence of oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide. Along with the formation of this product, some heat is evolving out, which we are writing on RHS side. RHS side. So here in the chemical equations we have to represent, we have to indicate the energy changes. If energy is evolving out, it is written with the product, and if energy is getting absorbed, one more thing students, before telling energy absorption, I am telling you, if heat energy is evolving out, that reaction is called exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. Heat energy is evolving out. Exo meaning evolution. But if suppose heat energy is getting absorbed, in that case energy absorption. Energy absorption if taking place, the reaction is called endo. Endo meaning absorption. Endothermic. Endo meaning absorption, therm meaning heat. So endothermic equation. Endothermic equation. What do we mean by endothermic reactions? If energy is getting absorbed in the reaction. So if energy is getting absorbed, at that time we write that heat energy towards reactant, and then it is giving product. So it is also a rule that we have to explain the energy changes that are taking place in the chemical equation. So students, these all are the rules which we have done today. I hope that you have understood that what is chemical reaction and what is chemical equation and how the chemical equation is written. What are the rules which are followed while writing chemical equation. In my next class, I will tell you how to balance a chemical equation. Thank you.